Hi everyone, welcome to the Odoo Insider session. As usual, every Thursday between this time and this time, depending on where you are here in Europe, or at least Brussels time zone, it is 9:30 a.m. and we are on for 2 hours of fun around functional and technical questions that you may have. You can start already asking on Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn. Those are the three mediums that we keep using. In any case, I already have a few questions because last time we had really a lot and there were a few that we couldn't answer. I see that we already have one from Salia Bentoumi in the end on LinkedIn, which is maybe one of last week that is coming back. Okay, it is, I would like to create a Kanban view, and when I click on a record, another Kanban view appears. I try to do this with server actions and inherited XML views, but I'm struggling. Is this the right process? Enterprise V18. Let's have a look at that. So let's check this. I will go on my favorite SaaS environment. So you have a Kanban view and you would like to click on a record so that another Kanban view appears. Okay, I wonder if it is possible, but we can give it a try. I don't see why you would like to do this, but we can try. I'm going to the CRM, which is a place where we have a Kanban view. Right here, I'm going, because I really don't like it, to remove those. Remember that one with the onboarding. I'm going to disable it. Okay, and so you have your Kanban view here and you would like to click on this and so that it opens a new Kanban view. I don't think that you can do that. Clicking right in the middle to open another Kanban view, I don't think you can do it because I guess that the action of clicking a Kanban view makes Odoo switch from the Kanban view to the form view. But what you could be doing that is potentially doable. If it's opening another Kanban view about another object, maybe there's a way where you would be opening directly here a new URL based on a button. We can try this and see if that's going the way you want it. So I'm going to open the Kanban view because I don't think that you can, what I want to do, you can do it directly from the from Studio. Just checking if we can add a button somewhere. No, I don't think you can add easily a button on in here. Yeah, you have a slide panel, but I don't think that you can do that. No. So it's not a strange view, but that's a bit different than the other views. So we have the Kanban view here. I'm going to open the form, the Kanban view right here, and maybe what we can start doing, just a quick test to see if that is correct. I'm going to check. Okay, we have menu, and then we have the card. I'm going to put that in the card, I guess. There's a footer, and maybe just before the footer, I'm going to add something, and we say, let's put a button, and I don't know even if that would work. At least I can save my view, apparently. So, do we have something? Yes, we have a test button. It doesn't change anything, but now that we have a test button, maybe I can add some href on this one, and let's see if it's able to open something else. Nah, apparently, maybe I'm not using this correctly. No, but maybe I need to, it's not on the button itself that I need to do that. It's maybe on a add something that I can do it. We'll see if that works. It's totally experimental, and we'll see if we can get somewhere. Oops, CRM. Oops. Okay. Yes, good. So what you could be doing, it's instead of using a href here, I'm going to take this one, and I will be here Control-Shift/ commenting. I'll be commenting just so that we know that this one is working. And I'm going to use something different now. I'm saying TATT href so that it becomes this time Python that we want to use. And then we need to be to use a few things here so that we open maybe that other record. So I'm going to find, let's imagine that we want to open the partner, because the partner ID, it's information that we have here. So we are going to open something related to the partner ID, but in order to do that, we need to find at least, let's say we want, or you want a Kanban view. So if it's a Kanban view, it's not related to one record in particular. So what I'm trying to accomplish is maybe wrong. I'm going to, you're going to tell me how you want to do this after, maybe Sally, how you can give me more information about what you're trying to accomplish. But otherwise, what I can do, opening a Kanban view, I can do it that way, which is not even with a TTT href. I could be doing, in fact, I can maybe have two buttons so that we keep both. And this is what we are going to do. Okay, I'm still keeping the debug, but of course, this we need rather to be taken from one of the system parameters so that we have always the same URL, or we can simply do this. I think it would work as well. And maybe here I'm going to show something different. That would be access the form view of the person, so we can do that as well. So it would be something like this, and then it's here that we are going to put the partner ID. That would be something like this, maybe. Let's try to see if that would work. Okay, so let's refresh the view right here. Okay, I have two. This one we can maybe say it's a so absolute, and then, or let's say contacts. I don't see why I would ever do that. The example I have is wrong, but it's just showing that technically maybe it's doable. And then here we'll say partner contact Kanban. Okay, something like this. Oops, right here. Okay, contact Kanban. Yes, it brings me to the contact Kanban view. And the partner action is undefined or doesn't exist. So is it waiting for something more here? So I have that href. I don't know if this would work just here. I'm going to check how this one is performed in other views, just to check. Okay, views. Oops. Of course, that is a problem that I have. I'm retrying this one. Yeah. Sometimes I go a bit too fast on this view, and then I make the JavaScript thing not work correctly. And so once you get that and you have that traceback going back, what you need to do is simply refresh your screen. It will be all right. So what I need is this rather. Oops. Okay, that's the one I was working on, I guess. Yes, so that's normal. And then where do we have that href? Okay, that is something that is directly inside. So those are not going to help me because every time it's not made of several variables. This one, okay. It looks maybe more like something I would need. Website. Okay, I'm going to keep this one just in case. Website row value. Okay. There's no place where. That's what I would need. Yes. Okay. Looks like it should be working though. I'm going to try without this. Because that looks like similar to what we have here. Yes. Yes, okay, that works. But it doesn't like when I'm giving it just the partner ID on top of this. But what we can do is even debug it the following way. I guess that if I refresh, I go here, we'll see the link that is generated. No, it says undefined. Yes, okay. That is normal. At that moment, I maybe don't have the partner ID information at that place. Yes, of course, I have this information when I am in the record. Yes, I'll have a look at exactly what you want to accomplish just after. Of course, here we need to say record the partner ID. I guess that would maybe make this work better. Okay, let's have a look at the action now. Ah, okay, partner ID dot ID. Okay, undefined again. Why so? Partner ID. We have a record. It is working because we know we had one. I see every time we use the notion of row value. But there's no moment where we dive into the details of what we have. Those are direct fields and not fields related to any other many-to-one, even though I have this here. Let's check if there's another way we can get there on Kanban views. Going to need a few, well, that's the one I'm working on, a few complicated Kanban views, just to see if there are a few places where I have something that can be useful in terms of Python being generated. So as you can see, maybe it can help you. You can see that the most of the work I'm doing at the moment is having a look at what we already have inside Odoo, because very often I will find examples of what I want to accomplish. But at the same time, trying to reach for that partner ID information. I see I don't have it. Even the active row value. Okay. So there is a row value every time. I don't remember what it contains, but we can try that just to see how it would look like when we output it. So let's see that row value. Doing this, do we have something more on the link here? No, it says false. And this, of course, I will have the whole record, so it doesn't help me. And we said that if I'm getting the whole record, do it again. Here we have object, okay, but I guess that doing this won't help me. That's what I tested earlier. And there we don't have, I don't know why we cannot get the ID of the record. Is there any reason why? Somebody replied already? Okay, check on the CRM partner ID. Yeah, that one. Ah, yes. Okay, I see what you mean. It's completely correct. Maybe it's one for which we don't have a partner, and that is indeed. But no, would I receive an object if there was no partner? That I don't know. The funny thing is that you are right. So let's try with this one, and then no, it still says undefined. I can refresh that one just to check. But it's a good idea though, what you said. But it's indeed. I need to check if I'm on the right. Yeah, it's indeed partner ID. So I have a partner now, but it's not changing what I want. But now that I have one, it's true that I can maybe start with the row value, because that's also why maybe I had an issue. I can retry that. At the very least, anyway, I forgot that I didn't have a partner, so thanks a lot for the help. Yay, that is working. So doing this, now I can access the client directly. So I don't know, there's maybe a faster way to do this, but that works. I use it as a button, but it could be something different than a button. I can show without the button, by the way. That would look like just a quicker link. I think it will take less space on the screen. That would work. Okay, let's go back right there. Yes, you see that shows you the partner, and that's maybe better. And I could also use the partner name directly. That would work as well. In fact, thinking about that, you have those kind of buttons here. I think that those are actionable and clickable buttons, so you could be reusing the way we did for these buttons, so that we can access directly. And that's what you want, in fact. You see, you are on the contacts. You click there and you see from one Kanban view to other Kanban view. So we can have a look at how this one is done. Again, you see, way of reasoning is reuse something things that already exist. That example is in Odoo. You've seen we've been through creating a button ourselves. Then we realize through our test, okay, it already exists. But if I had been smarter, I should have started with, okay, can we find a Kanban view where we already did that? So if we go on, go back on what Salia wanted to accomplish, because it was related to project in the end. Like what we have in project module, when we open a project, it shows us a Kanban view of the task model. Okay, but then we can have a look at what is done on this one. It will be the Kanban view of contacts. How do we do it? Opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's a button for which we have a few classes, and it's this one. That is maybe problematic. Not problematic, but it will show you why it is harder to do, even though we can try to find a solution also. Let's go back in the views. And what it does is that it's going to open this. It's a Kanban view, and what Odoo wants is create a button if we have if there are opportunities. So in the CRM, if we have the contact view in Kanban, we check, okay, do we have any opportunities for that contact in particular? Yes, let's show the button. And the name is very important here because it's going to open an action. And that action name, it's in fact the XML ID of the action we want, if I remember well. So we can find that action here. Action view opportunity. I was wrong. Apparently, it's not the XML ID. It must be just the name of the action. We can rely on GitHub to give me, not the enterprise version. CRM is community. We can go there and try this. Okay, so it's not it's even the method itself. So it's going to open this, and that is something that Odoo is going to find for you to return an action, and the action is what you will get over there. But it's going to do that. So maybe, again, big maybe we can ask to have this directly there. We can maybe try that. So let me check if we can do this similar way on the CRM. Or if we can replicate this one with another button that will select also. Here it's selecting. I thought that's what we would do. Remember, I was looking for an XML ID, but in fact, through this method that is given directly as a name, is going to find the action here and through its XML ID. So maybe that we could do if you have the XML ID of a view you want to open. So let me try something. Can we do something that would be similar than what we have here? Yes. We can try bypassing something and see if we can have a look, because then I guess we have the same here with action view sale order. Good. We can try to go on the opportunities and try the action view sale order of the same person. So let's see if we have something here in action view sale order. So what I will try to accomplish, and I'm not sure I will get it right. We have it here. It is trying to find this information, okay, but directly from the Kanban view of the lead, so that if I have a Kanban view that is linked to a partner, I will try to directly open the sales of all that partner. I don't know if it's possible, but we can learn along the way. Let's try that. So that would mean from this place, create a new button. I will reuse one of the buttons and say, okay, if there's a partner, or I can reuse this one, open what I wanted, which was, again, those sale orders. So that would be different. I would need to have, the way it was done is a bit different. I'm copy pasting the information I need here, and I'm going to reuse, in the name, I don't know if that works. Was that button? No, it's a with a name, role button, type object. I'm going to do this with the exception that instead of type object, I will use type action, because then when you say type action, it's not relying on a method of the object, but on an action that is somewhere inside Odoo. So I'm going to do that. So if I want some copy pasting. Sorry again for all the changes that I'm bringing here. I can maybe reuse that. And I'm going to say what we want to accomplish is going to be here. I'm putting a few blank spaces before and after. We can get there. Okay, so if the record has partner ID, we can try this one, the value. I don't know if that will work. We'll check after if that thing is working. Groups, I don't care about the groups. I don't care. Well, we can keep the class so that we see how it looks like when it is displayed. I'm going to change this and that because I think that this is not object, it is action. And we can see how it looks like when it's an action. So I'm going to look for this. You see what I'm copy pasting here? I'm going to look for that in the views so that we see which are the views that are calling for an action. It can be in the form, I don't care too much. Let's find what I need. Okay, then it is, yes, then it gives an ID. And that's maybe better to use this. The ID that we have here is the ID of an action that we have inside Odoo. So let's see what is this action. I hope it's a server action because then it will be making things easier for me. In order to find the actions, it's here. I need, wait a sec. Yes, we have different types of actions. We have action reports, we have window actions, we have tons of actions, but I want to see, so we said 481, I think that's where I'm going to find it. Subtask, it's going to open subtask and it's an action window. So I could be creating a new action window so that I find it, but action window, good thing of that one is that if I go for window actions, I will find the subtask one, and that's one of those two. That's the one. So as you can see, it's a record on its own, so I could be creating a record on its own as well. So the record I need maybe already exists in terms of window action. I'm going to look for the ones that are the quotes. Quote, sale orders, opportunity is active ID. Ah, it's fun. It's one I did with Studio, but anyway, we can try it. I'm going to use the ID that we have here and open it. So I'm saying type action, and this type instead of type action, I'm going to use this. I'm quickly commenting that, otherwise it's going to bother me. This one we can keep, that's a previous thing that we did, and it's not an opportunity count because that doesn't exist. Do I need a field name there? I'm not even sure. I can try to use this as well. So let's go back to my activities. I see I have my little star here. It's giving me an action. Yes, it brings me to a new view that is containing the right action. But you see, it's something that is related to activities, so of course it's not going to show that much. Maybe it's better to use something more on the sale orders, and then yes, abandoned carts, sale commissions. I should maybe say that it should be, I should have something that is a bit better than this. Another way to find the action that you want could be going in the right place. So I'm going here in the sales. You open this and you open the action that you have there, and then you have another ID, which is the same information. So I can keep using that. Now I'm going to use that action instead, and you will see it's going to open the sales view. Yay! So that is correct. Now you need to add something on top of that. That would be a filter. Can I send in my filter? It depends on what you have in the action here. Maybe the domain, I should use something like the active ID that I was using. That I'm not sure, but maybe we've been already far in terms of answering the question. So Saliha, you can go further than this, reusing the thing that we already have. Yeah, and I have Arthur that is doing his job. He's telling me, yeah, you spent like 25 minutes on that question. It is a lot. Yeah, I know, it is true. So that's why we are moving to the next one. But I think that it is good to see how it is possible to do, even on SaaS. So you discover actions, view edition on a Canva view that is not easy. So you can reuse that kind of information that we have here. Going further, reuse this, because that is going to tell you, use a window action, that is a window action, and then pass some information like an active ID that you would need, so that you can also open the quotes, but with the information that is the partner ID, for example, so that you can filter on the right customers. So this is possible. Now you need to play a little bit with that inside Odoo. Another question from Kapil Panwar. Do we provide email hosting? It depends what you mean. Email hosting, not really. Like you don't have, it's not a mailbox like you would have an email address because you use Odoo. You don't have that, like you wouldn't have like kapil.panwar at yourcompany.odoo.com. But in a way, what we propose is a bit similar. Maybe you've seen, and you can already try it now if you want to have fun. We have a place where we have technical stuff. I'm going to unzoom so that it's a bit better here. You have aliases in the email place, and those are a few email aliases that exist, like expense at pstest, like at the name of my database.com. We can do that and go, you see RFQ thing here. If I send an email, I will do that from my address here on Odoo so that you can see. So I'm using RFQ at, I already used it in the past. I see it's already in my filter. Yes, the same. So testing Odoo Insider, and we are on the 27th of March 25. I'm adding a few things. And so although we are not going to provide you with an email account, we have a place where you can receive emails that are sent to some URL. And you see that that is depending on the alias domain. And because you are hosted online or on Odoo SH, we always provide you with an alias domain. What is important here is that that alias domain is linked to, let's call it the left-hand side of your email. And the concatenation of both will lead to the creation of a lead, because that's what the setup of this one, that we attach to the team number 1. So if I want to have a look at what it did, I can go in the CRM. If I remove, maybe I can go in my my pipeline. If I remove this, yes, we see we have several ones, and that's the one I just sent now. Testing Odoo Insider, and that's the information that you get, and you see it has been sent today, like 2 minutes ago. Good. So while it doesn't, it's not an email address where you can send email from, like an email account, it still has some properties that look like an email. And if I send a message back like this, what will happen is that I will receive it, of course, in my mailbox. On the other side, well, you see the strange thing is that the person sending is the same as the person receiving. That's simply because the email I sent from my mailbox is the email also of my user here, which is a very specific use case. That is a use case that you will only meet when you demo like I'm doing. I should have maybe used another email address just for the sake of the exercise. I can maybe do that and reuse another one that I have right here, doing the same. Okay, RFQ at. I think it's not going to change a lot, but it will make the demo easier to read for you online. Test Odoo Insider, 27 of March 25. We are going to receive another one very, very soon. So sending this email, I will receive another one. Here we have 5. We're going to have 6 very quickly. It takes something like usually less than 1 minute to receive that email. What you can do, as we have seen, is you can reply, and indeed that will send an email back to the person that is on the other side here. That is the one we see. Henry Keegan, my fake email address, sent an email. I can say whatever. I'm sending this back. I will receive this as an email on my mailbox. That is right here. It's a fake Gmail account, so I use that for testing purpose, like we do today, and it is working. But it's because Odoo will allow you to send something like between 50 when you have a default plan until something like 400 emails per day. But usually you do that because Odoo will make it possible to send emails. Let me close a few windows here. We'll send emails through, again, pstest, well, through that account for that amount of emails. But once that is done, and it's a daily limit, you will have to wait for the next day to send emails. So what we say is that usually when you have a professional, when you have a company, you want to act like a pro, and so you have also your email account that is on the side that already existed before you went and you joined Odoo. So it's maybe better to link that email account, maybe on Outlook, maybe on Google Apps, with your Odoo environment. There are a few videos that we made, and it's usually taking quite some time related to how to configure the emails if you want to go in that direction. And that is best explained on the documentation of Odoo. When you go there, I think it's email server or something like this, email server. Yeah, it's always the thing that I make as a search. We can click on this one because usually, yeah, manage inbound messages and outbound. Odoo explains how we manage the email notion. It's very important to, when you go through that rabbit hole, it's important that you realize that Odoo is not a mailbox. It's something that we use in conjunction of a mailbox. So we are going to receive messages, copy them inside Odoo, and eventually reply from Odoo through your SMTP server. So you will see that it has advantages, like you copy information and we are not impacting your mailbox, but some drawbacks, like we don't manage the CCs, we don't manage the out of offices that you would expect in a real mailbox system. Those are, I would say, drawbacks, but it is expected because you cannot do any differently. Otherwise, you would repeat information a lot. So that is what you have here. Also, another thing that you can check related to emails is that when an email is not sent, well, you see here it's sent to the guy here. Usually those emails, when they are not sent, you can also debug them right there. But you see here there's nothing left in the pile, so I guess it was sent correctly. Very important. I know that at the beginning, setting up email may be a bit, it's a place where a lot of people struggle for the inbound, for the outbound, for the rules that they want specifically to the environment that they have on Azure. So everything that is Microsoft, everything that is Google, but don't hesitate to come back to us. It's the kind of thing that we help a lot our partner and client with. Another question from Mohammed on LinkedIn. Hello, is it enough to study Odoo courses to start the partnership and be able to implement Odoo? Yes, yes, because we have a lot of clients that are that don't require a knowledge of someone that has like 5 years of experience on Odoo. So maybe it's a general question I should answer here related to what we call the PLO. So it's let me check. We have this one. I'm always showing. We have the partner onboarding. So that is what we teach our partner to follow when they start being partners, so that we give them, in addition to the course that already exists on the slides platform right here, where you have courses about using Studio, about the website, about, let me show them all because I think, yeah, that's maybe better if we start here. You can start from top left to bottom right. I think we order it by difficulty, but do that, you go on Getting Started CRM. You watch everything. You have already tons of hours of videos that are sufficient to give you a good overview of what you will find in terms of features inside Odoo. What is missing, though, when you have a look at all those videos, is how to make that, to put that in place, how to implement the methodology of Odoo, how to be a good consultant, how to work on the imports and a few technicalities, and that is what we cover next in the partner onboarding. So this is really like feature per feature, application per application that you are going to discover it. Here it's giving you a broader overview of how to manage a project. So those to me are the 2 steps that you need to go through before you are a partner. But if you have already some experience in terms of implementing ERPs, knowing what you have in terms of features, maybe you are going to find a link yourself and you will be already, I will quote it, good enough to start having a first client. But of course, I would say try to find client that matches your capabilities. Way too often I see people that try to go out there without any help, trying to accomplish things that are quite difficult. I have from time to time partners that whose first project is getting the project from another partner with lots of development, migrating from on-premise to Odoo SH. So it's not the first easiest project that you can get, but sometimes it happens and we are there to help as well. Okay, another question from Piyush. What are some underrated features in Odoo that most users overlook? That's a good question. I don't know. I think on my side, if you ask a different consultant, people will have a different view. On my side, I think that there is globally speaking, and I know it's a very, very easy answer, is what we show during the Odoo Insiders. Because when you ask questions, I'm trying to show you on the most standard environment first. You see that I don't use that much Odoo SH, by the way. I'm trying to always stay in standard on the SaaS. I'm trying to show you what you can accomplish without extra servers, on-premise installation, very complicated settings. I think that the most underrated feature is that there are workarounds everywhere. The only thing is that in order to know how to implement them, you need to know Odoo already quite well from the beginning. So I think that it's a general underrating of Odoo, which is how much you can do with such a simple environment. Then I'm pretty sure that there must be tons of things that you will find. I will tell you about one that is very recent. That I realized and for which there is a bit of documentation. I would like to guide you through the experience website, but we don't need that so much. Now I'm going to guide you to YouTube, but one that I really liked recently is the following. I'm going to show it on a demo environment. Maybe I already did that last time, but I don't remember. Is the following. Okay, please load. I have a demo to do. Yes, if you go in the sales, that's really something I love, and I would like to see that maybe expanded to other applications. I will take this one, and when you select a quotation template like this one, Office Furnitures, that has a quote calculator over there, that's new from version 18, but it's a killer thing. We made a link between what you have in the record and the spreadsheet with that save in SO70 button. And this, let's imagine we bring that to different places. It is something that is going to really be a killer feature. This one is already super useful in the context of a sale order. But last time somebody was asking me something about how to manage budgets. I'm going to give you another example talking about the budget, but it means that you can have lots of computation that are very, very strict and limited to your company and that nobody else does. And if nobody else does it, there's no reason to bring that to Odoo because it will cost a lot in terms of development, because you know that's the only thing that you are the only one to do it. So of course it's not a standard feature or a standard way of computing. So it's going to cost you a lot if you want to implement that in other softwares, because what you can do in an Excel sheet, and that everybody knows how to do because everyone uses Excel sheets all the time, you are going to have to develop that in other softwares, while we say, okay, for things that can be complicated in terms of computation, but that you know how to do it because you have an Excel sheet, or you used to use Excel sheets, do it still in an Excel sheet, but we are going to link it to Odoo. The only thing is that Excel will be in Odoo also, so that it can work. And so you're going to have an exchange between the record, its spreadsheet that will send back things when it's hard to compute. The computation that we have here about the total volume, about the distance, so that it finds the right transport cost and total assembly cost, that's something that you could develop. I mean, in Python, recognizing the records that you have here, so that a few lines are marked as transportation, a few other lines are marked as something else. Yes, you can do that in Python, but it means heavy development, a bit of project management, while here now we made it in a spreadsheet that everyone can understand and knows how to use. I would love to see that link between record and spreadsheet in other places. One of the places a client was telling me about a budget, but I don't think that we have it in standard here. Well, in standard installed directly. I will need to add budgets. Let me show you why it could be useful in that area as well. And in fact, if you think that way, you will see lots of places where that kind of feature could be super useful. Link between record and spreadsheet in other environments. And the budget was one, because at some point I was demonstrating the budget management capabilities of Odoo, and we went through creating you see we have the budget report here, but we created some analytic budgets, and when you do that you need to create budget lines and you need to find amounts. And he was telling me, yeah, but for every department, and I really liked his way of thinking. For every department, you will have different ways of finding a budget. So the amount that is here, in Odoo, you give it manually, but in reality, it is always computed based on last year, based on the flavor of the day in terms of management inside the company, in terms of a budget that you can afford for this kind of operations this year, compared to objectives that you have. So that amount, I was told, and I understand, it is computed. You can compute it elsewhere, then take the amount and put it back in Odoo, but why would you have that while you can also have it, yeah, let's put it here, a monthly budget, blah, blah, while you could also have that amount budgeted that is coming from a computation that you would have inside Odoo, because maybe it's also an aggregate of information that are already partially in Odoo. So that's kind of a feature I would like to see more, but that already having it on the sale order, because lots of companies use a very, very complicated quote process. And when you ask them how they do, they say Excel, and developing something that does as Excel, but with way more complexity, it's different. So that is the kind of feature that I really like. And there are a ton. The ability to change the PDFs. Studio is also a completely underrated feature for lots of our clients. There are so many things that we do and that you cannot find in the competition. I really love it. And also simply the integration of all of that. And the fact that it is flexible, so you install an application, another one, it doesn't cost much. And it doesn't cost more because you install another application, and you can go and expand as you go, have your learning that is adapted to the project that you have. There are so many good things about what we do that sometimes I'm not the good person to ask that, because I realize that everything is good, but I don't even remember that it is that good compared to the competition. So that is also something that is quite cool. And even I see this now here, the shop floor. That is something, it's fun because it was created 2-3 versions ago, and I never had a manufacturing company I worked with that was using it, and now I'm implementing that, and I love it as well. So you'll find a ton of underrated features. Another question from Dr. Andy Droid. Hello, can we prepare price adjustment for future dates and prepare price list for customers? Yes, you can do that. I'm going to leave the demo environment, but if you go in the price list, or more specifically the price list items, what you do have is that you have a validity period. So in fact, I can already prepare something like we have sales in April. I can have a specific thing, or let's say April, May, or no, just April. Yes, we apply. And this one, I can have it on a product or product category and say, okay, all this one, it will be discount of 10% on the sales price, and that would work. This one already exists. It's not applicable as of now, but in a few days it will be, and so you can do that. If you say I would like to change the sales price, it would be working the same way, still through price list items, but in which case you change the fixed price of the item. That would work without any trouble. Okay, maybe another question next on LinkedIn. Sartak is saying, hello, good afternoon. I want to know more details about the inter-warehouse transfer. One, the main warehouse, then transfer between the sub-warehouses. Okay, that is a generic question, but we can have a look at that. So what you need to see is that Odoo is going to mostly transfer things that are between locations and not between warehouses. Saying this, you will see what I'm using that. You will see there are lots of similarities. If I go into the inventory, I will show you my configuration. I think I only have one warehouse. With that one warehouse, I'm going to create, well, we have that already, output and packing zone and stock. I can create manual internal transfers like this one and say, I would like to move, I don't even put a contact, I'm going to move internal transfer from stock to, we said packing zone. And I'm going to move a product, okay? I'm going to move that FIFO product, one quantity, mark as to do, check availability. It's not available, that's too bad. Maybe I can add a quickly FIFO product in my stock location so that we have some availability. I could force it, but I would like to test it at the same time. So source location stock, apparently I don't have a FIFO product. Let's try this, go on the products, let's go on FIFO. FIFO product. Yeah, I even have -3. So on hand, I'm going to change that, and I'm going to say, in fact, the problem with my FIFO, no, it's okay. Track inventory is by quantity, so it's not going to be complicated. I can either create a new replenishment thing, or I can eventually go back here and update the quantity and say, in fact, on hand, I don't have one -3, I have 10, and that is it. What Odoo did, in the meantime, you see now I have 10, it created in the inventory a new move about that FIFO product. You see for 13 quantities, of course, -3 up up 10, that is 13. Okay, so now this is available, it is reserved, and I can validate. Okay, so I have a transfer. It's that move that I made. It is going from stock to the packing zone. It's an internal transfer, and that is not going to change if I have a second warehouse. If I create another warehouse, I'm also going to have, just going to use WH2, all those informations. I have more location now because I have WH2 and 1. I can still transfer the exact same way. I'm going back here, operations, internal, I create a new one. Say maybe I have something that is yeah, do we have something like inter warehouses? No, I will use internal transfer. I can still using my FIFO product quantity 1, and I'm going to move it to also another stock, but this time stock number 2, mark as to do, validate, and then the only difference is that it's a stock location that is stored in a different place, but that will work the same way. That is a manual move, so it's not as if I needed to have something very complex to make this work. I just created under warehouse. I didn't use route or rules. I created something completely manually based on locations that I knew. Now, what you do have is that maybe you have routes where you would like to automatically deliver from one company to the other, or one company. It's not even one company, it's one warehouse to the other. What you can do in that case, you have already predefined setup that exists on some warehouses, like if warehouse 1, you see you have a few things where usually, I don't know if it's still the case, there are a few places where there was a possibility to mention that you wanted to resupply from another warehouse, but I don't know if it still exists. It looks like we don't use that anymore, so that's maybe a change. I'm not too sure about that. But before that, it was possible to say that one warehouse should be resupplying from another one. But that can already be done through routes, saying that on the routes of that warehouse number 2, we could say that in order to receive, or if we have a pull flow, we could use a rule that says, okay, fetch from the other warehouse, because it's always transit through that warehouse before. That is where we have it. Resupply from warehouse 1. So you see, you can have things like those ones. If I save, I think I'm going to have yes, another route. So that's what I was saying. This one is a checkbox here, but what it does typically is it will create a new route, and the route that you see is this one. It's going then, because it will be automated, it will be slightly different. It will do stock output inter warehouse transit, and then from inter warehouse transit to WH2 stock. So that is a bit more complex, because you will have 3 moves instead of the only one that I used, but at least this one, it allows you to automate the different moves that you have between one warehouse and the other. So depending on your use case, I don't remember who asked, but that is something that you can test here. We have an example. I was mentioning the PLO here in the use case about the motorcycle company. We use that notion of resupply from another warehouse. That's typically the kind of setup you end up with. Depending on what you want to achieve there, that's the kind of thing that you can very quickly enable in Odoo. Knowing that, from what I can see, sometimes people really, they use multiple warehouses for real. I'm not always sure that it is really necessary to mimic that behavior in Odoo. Very often multiple location work as well. Typical example that we have as well is sometimes people want to have 2 warehouses, because they say, okay, but I have a warehouse, but attached to it I have a shop, and there should be 2 warehouses in Odoo. And I'm not convinced, because I think that you can reach what you want with simply just different locations. That works as well. Next question on YouTube from Shafaf Marakar. Hello, how to use calculator for each item in sale order line. Each item will have individual costing, such as painting charges, packing charges, design charges, wastage, and so on. But then that would be different solutions. First one is the one that I mentioned before with the demo environment, when I was mentioning the fact that now you have, thanks to the quote calculator, the possibility to have, let me show you again, the quote calculator. The demo environment, the first time, it's always a bit slow. Right here, was it the same environment? No, monthly cleaning, I'm checking quickly. No, okay, I will create a new one. You have that quote calculator I was mentioning. and because you have office furniture, you have this one. And if you want to compute each item on sell order line, when you will push and save on SO, you have a few fields, don't remember which one in this example, that are synchronized with a field inside Odoo. And those synchronized fields, they will push the price from this cell to the field and field inside Odoo. Now, how do you reach that price, that 4,000? That's what I was saying. You can, if your computation is complex, you create a new sheet and you explain how you reach to that computation so that this amount is in fact not taken from an Odoo list, so information that is retrieved from Odoo, but rather information that is computed somewhere else with your own computation of packing charge design, wastage, and so on, so that you push it in Odoo. That is the option without knowing more about your use case. That is the option I would recommend. Put the complexity of the computation inside Excel sheet, inside spreadsheet. Now, if you tell me, yeah, but it's complicated, but it's always the same, there's a possibility to develop something around that, so that instead of using a spreadsheet, it will be similar in a way. You add a small button here, and by clicking on the button, Odoo does the computation for you. Difference is, you do it in Python with the ORM of Odoo instead of using the notion of spreadsheets. That is easier because people use more spreadsheet than they know how to code in Python, and easier because in terms of representation of information, formulas, people know how to use it as well. That is why I would recommend, if you don't have any experience in development, to use the quote calculator tool. Otherwise, if you know how to explain really, really well what you need in terms of development per line and how to find the right cost, you could be going for your own development. That it really depends of the use case that you have. And very often that cannot be summarized or let's say solved in just like the little time that we have during the Odoo Insider. Another question on YouTube from Kapil Panwar. If I launch e-learning, then all users who purchase the course will be considered as a user in Odoo and paid for the same. It depends what you need, but most of the courses that we have, usually, like this one, I'm going to talk about the PLO that I know well, but the smart classes is the same. What we do is that the first time that you need to reach that course, you are going to pay for the time that it takes to finish the course. So the PLO, I know it's 35 hours. Same for the bootcamp. Bootcamp is usually a bit higher. It can be around 50 because we have another course that is, it's here. Bootcamp, it goes faster for you, but it takes a few more hours in terms of us for teaching you. So we have a bootcamp on several days. You can see you have 4 functional days: functional day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, then methodology, even functional day 5 with several use cases that we pick and we select. You have 3 days of methodology and then 4 days of technical things. So this one is a bit longer. It's 50 hours. Once you get access, you are not going to get your access removed. So that's the first thing that you need to know. And adding new people, it depends. If we see that it's really from the same company, we are going to we make it possible for you to add other people. You can contact your account manager for that. But if it's inviting other people that have a Gmail address, then and that we not sure that they are coming from your company, then we are not going to do it. So it's really, if you are a partner and they are from the same company, we can add other people as long as you at least follow the first time the course with us. And I think it's the same for the bootcamp, the PLOs, the master classes. It was called smart classes before, but we renamed it in master classes. Pay attention, and technical training. But your question, I'm rereading your question. I'm going to give a second answer because I'm not sure. You said if I launch e-learning, then all users who purchase the course will be considered as user in Odoo. Because you said if I launch e-learning, so I don't know if you mean what if I want to use the e-learning and create a new Odoo environment with the e-learning for your own clients. I don't know if that's the question, but if it's for your own client, you can anyway add people manually to a course, even though they didn't pay you. So there are a few things that you can do in terms of e-learning. I don't know if I installed the module here. Yes. When you create a course, that is the front-end side. When you create a course, you will see that you have different options for accepting people. Is there a prerequisite? Do they need to be signed in? Do we show it to everyone? Do we need to invite? Is it a paid thing? Do we want to auto-enroll people? So you have a few ways to accept people or not. But if your first question was about our own learning as Odoo that we provide to our partners, that was the first answer that I gave you. On LinkedIn, Orlando is asking us, can Odoo work in pharmaceutical production? Yes, we must have a few of references working in the pharmaceutical world. I know that there's a lot of, usually depending on what is being asked. I know that sometimes we work also Odoo together with consulting firms that have, I forgot the name, those kind of certifications that you need to have in the pharmaceutical world. So sometimes you don't have the person that is expert on our side. You want to say something, Arthur? Don't hesitate. You can interrupt me.
So I don't remember the name, and sorry for that because it's been a long time now. But I have a friend that is business analyst, basically for a Swiss company, pharmaceutical.
Okay.
They basically build medicine.
Okay.
They actually became certified. So it was 3 months to 4 months of hard work, lots of hours put into it. But basically, it's a custom Odoo version, and they passed the whole certification test for tracking everything, etc. So it became a real good fit. But yeah, it needed a bit of customization.
Good. So that is. Yes, you can have a look at also the reference that you provide. I'm pretty sure that you will find some in pharmaceutical production. I was thinking about GMX because you have some things for manufacturing for pharmaceutical, and I'm not sure. It's not GMX. It's another acronym that we use, but technically it is possible. We have already a few clients and partners working in that environment. I remember also that in the past we had a partner whose name. Let me check on the site because I'm not sure. Yes. Arthur,
So
you found it?
I browsed through my chat, and it's Vitrobio.
Okay.
In Switzerland.
I
want to check it out on the internet.
I'm thinking also, I'm checking on the site because I don't know. Here, giving another example, there's another one here on YouTube that is coming from the Odoo experience that was given. Yes, GXP, not GMX, it's GXP. So you have some example here of what we did for the pharma world. It was a few months ago, yes. So you can have a look at this one 5 months ago. Yes, Arthur.
So I found more information. It was a big package of hours. It was 750 hours. But it's the certification GMED, so
okay,
it's quite big. And it only took 4 months.
Okay. As I'm on YouTube, I was thinking of the code calculator that I was showing because talking about the Odoo experience, I know that we made. I think that's here with Richard explaining how we use the code calculator. So if you want to see it, understand, test it yourself, is giving a course on how to do that, an example that is different than the one that you will find on demo environment. So it's very good if you want to learn and understand. You can follow this one, and also just to let you know, that's also something that we cover in the Odoo in the PLO. So going back here, there is a moment here where we talk about the spreadsheet, and there's an exercise, 4 exercises around that as well. So that is really a feature. If you've been following Odoo for a few years now, you see that spreadsheet is really something that we pushed a lot since version 16. So that is not going to stop there, I think. Okay, next question on YouTube from Atef Saud. How can we create an automated action that suggests an allocation of overtime hours based on the monthly timesheet balance? Allocation, okay. If you have the computation, that could be possible, but suggestion, it depends what you mean. Odoo, with the automated action, you are going to create records. And the way to consider them as suggestion would be to create records for which you have a status that would be draft so that you can at least approve them. But if you mention, so in time off, the creation of allocations here, and you can create them manually, Odoo can create that type of record with an allocation of days of or hours. Let me check if I have a few for which I can use hours instead of days. Days everywhere. Let me try something. We can eventually do that. So I was going to say recuperation, but overtime alloc, and it will be something for which we're going to keep that notion of approval, and it will be in hours. Just want to try if we can give allocations of that hours. So yes, it's adapting to hours. So you because on your case, I guess that overtime would be hourly based. So you could create those kind of records. The one I just saved now. Here it's for 8 hours. It could be for 2. And how you want to create it, it really depends of what is the process on your side. But here you see that record is of type, let me check, yeah, HR leave allocation. So you can create new ones. Like if you go here, you can have some automated automation rules right here where you are going to create allocations on HR leave allocation. And that you say what would be the trigger, and that you are going to, it's maybe not that one that we need to do, in fact. It's maybe based on timesheets. I don't know exactly, or attendance. I don't know exactly how you are going to know that you create allocations, but I've been going the wrong way here, because the model here is the one that would trigger in the end to the creation of allocations. I lost connection restored. Okay, back online. I hope that you didn't lost me. Yeah, lose me. Let's check here. Maybe we want to do that on the timesheet instead. So it will be analytic. Yes, analytic lines. That could be the way we are going to do it. And because we save an analytic line, we start a new computation that in the end would lead to, and then we say compute amount of overtime. And in the end, what we do is that we are going to create these HR leave allocation. Oops. And then you do a creation of that, and you give it some values, and the values would be the time of type. I don't know the real name of the variable. It would be here. Find a way, or you simply give the ID of the time of type. So that would be one way of doing, which is I create an automated action so that every month I go and I click that automated action or a server action so that Odoo is going to generate those allocations for me. Other thing that exists is that you have accrual plans, and you can create plans here as well to say, okay, every now and then I'm going to compensate or to give you time off, because I'm checking if we have something else here. No. In terms of accruals, it's not something that I know well, but we can try. Allocation for overtime. You say at the end we are going to based on work time. I think that is something mandatory in Germany. So you say we have this, and you are going to say what are the rules, and you can say we are going to accrue for let's say 3 hours every month. If and then I'm not sure. It's not condition based. Yes, so that is going to be done whatever the overtime. So here I think that in terms of overtime you cannot really do that. I thought that with the German, but maybe that's an extra application. I remember Germany because we have an entity of Odoo there, and I think it is related to this. That's maybe an extra app that you need to have, be allocation something, or no leave. Maybe you are going to have something more in the leave. Yeah, you see, you have something for the French holidays. We have something for Indians. So it could be that you have extra regulations contained in modules that would add some kind of conditionality here in the milestones. But the way I'm doing it here is that the rule is as you are going to get on the first of the month 3 hours one day after the allocation start date. So after this starts, do we carry them over or do we stop at some point? That is the rest of the milestones that you have. But yes, this one. Okay, based on the work days that you have instead of calendar days. This one is maybe more like a question that you can ask. When we have Antoine, that is more specialized, the other Antoine that is specialized in HR, if you want to go through the timesheet, that's something that you could do, because I don't think that here it's taking timesheets into account. Or you review this so that you use it as a new rule, saying, okay, but we take the extra amount on timesheets, and then timesheets, maybe you want to say extra amount of timesheets that are linked to a sale order line, so everything that is billable, and then you accrue for it. That would be another possibility. But pure standard here, another way would be to use that notion of, as I said, create an automation rule or a server action, launch it every month so that it generates for you that allocation right here as a new record that you would have to approve. That's maybe the best way, or at least if it's not something that would work based on the accrual plans, maybe doing the computation yourself in a server action or a scheduled action would be better. Another question from Kapil Panwar on YouTube: how can I use complete accounting module on self-hosted server? You need to pay for the Odoo enterprise licenses. So a quick reminder there, when you go on Odoo, if you want to go on-prem, you are going to pay an amount. You see here it's annual. Monthly, I don't think that you can go on-prem. Yeah, you see the difference. On-prem is being hidden, so you need to be on an annual payment. And what you do have, you have differences, Odoo Enterprise and Community. Then it's going to bring you to another page of Odoo, and then you see finance and everything. That is the full accounting. You need to be in enterprise version. So on-site. On-site is the only place where you can use community. We don't have on our side servers with the community version. Everything that you will have at Odoo, online or the SaaS or Odoo SH, everything is on the community. Everything is on the enterprise version. Now, if you want to go on-prem, only way to have the finance module is to be in an enterprise version. That is part of the modules that we have in the enterprise. Mohammed, and why in the field in sales and purchase, the prevent create option in Studio is not working? I think that changed for the following reason. There are a few places where people are prone to make mistakes. I can give you an example. I was appalled last time. It was on the purchase application, and I realized that in fact, it's one of my clients, didn't realize, like, they were always typing here, and maybe, let me show you something. You see here I have event registration. Maybe they're going to say event registration, and they don't pay attention that it's not matching, and boom, they create a new product. And so the demand of my client was, okay, can you make it impossible for people to make a mistake here, because I'm fed up. I have lots of products that are duplicated because of that. So yeah, we can do that. We went on Studio and we made it impossible to create it. It would be the same with the unit of measures. People will make mistakes, I'm sure, and you don't want to have, and that is products, you duplicate them, it's okay, you void the stock, you add it on the other product, that's good. Unit of measures, it's way more complicated, because you would need to, first, maybe you are going to get blocked because it's not part of the same category. Second, maybe you are going to undo a lot of different things so that you can restart correctly. So that's, maybe I'm just trying to find a reason there. That's maybe why we've been that way, but you can change that in the categories. That's the place where you go for changing this now, because usually you don't need to do that on a sale order line. It's not the kind of thing that you change every day. So I think that's maybe the most important part. Your unit of measures, they don't change all the time. That's something that is fixed. So you do it once and for all, and then you are set. And that's why you need to go here and create new lines. That you have it here. Last week, I think I've been. You see, we have unit of measure categories, and at some point, I've been to unit of measures, and I was telling you, yeah, it cannot be even created from here. So I think that's really why we want people to do it in only one place, the place where we know they are not going to mess up with the unit of measure categories. Okay, yes, or somebody that spammed the question. That's it, okay. Then another question, but that was the same. Okay, we can go to the next if we still have. Stephanus is asking us on LinkedIn, can I know the way Odoo can connect to SQL Server Database and Crystal Report? Okay, can you please help it to show demo? Not with Crystal Report, because I'm not an expert in Crystal Report, but how do connect to SQL? Yes. Let me check how I can best demonstrate that, because in fact that's let's say embedded in Odoo. So it's not something that you can see easily. There are lots of places where you can see places where Odoo performs things in SQL. Maybe, and it depends what you are asking, because there's a possibility to start Odoo in debug mode if you are in local, and you will see the queries that are made by Odoo at the SQL level. So you can output that, but it's not what you are asking. Odoo connects to Postgre. When you install Odoo and Postgre, but maybe there's in the documentation, in fact. You will find there in the on-prem source install, there's a place where we tell you how to do that. So we install Python 3, pip, you install Postgre and Postgres client, you create a new user, you create a database, and what we don't say here is that you need to manage your Postgres install, and then nothing else is mentioned about Postgres. Huh? Yeah, so there, when you install Postgres, you will have a user. That's through that user that when you start Odoo, you say connect to Postgre with that user, that password, and usually that user already has Postgres access right in terms of, well, usually it's I guess a super user on Postgre that can create new database table, so he has lots of right. Let me check if there's something I can show in terms of configuration. On my side, I need to be sure that there are no passwords being shown there. That's why I'm changing the screen. Do I have something there to show? I don't think I have any password or things here. Yeah, not a big deal. There are a few options that are given. Let me show you how can. Be sure I can share that with you. I'm not giving everything. Let's check. Yeah, there are a few things that you are going to use here. You see on my screen. That is the beginning of my configuration file, where you see, as I'm local, when I'm starting my Odoo server, it's on localhost. That's the DB password that I'm using locally. Anyway, I only have test databases that are empty with no information inside. So that's how you are going to give information, so that Odoo, when you start it, it knows how to query Postgre, and I'm pretty sure that this, let's say, I was mentioning DB password somewhere. Let's see where it is being used. There's a place in I don't know exactly where it is doing this. There you have an example, blah blah blah. I suppose that's where we are going to explain it, how to connect. Yes, when you run Odoo, so you have a few arguments here. If you follow that trail, you will be able to see how Odoo connects to Postgre, but I think that's not super interesting for what you want to accomplish, because if you mention Crystal Report, I'm pretty sure that some other people did it and tried it already. Not on this one, but I don't know how Crystal Report is supposed to be run, and how it is supposed to connect either. But if you say Crystal Report connect to SQL, then it's totally outside of Odoo, in fact, because you are going to query SQL from Crystal Report, and Odoo queries SQL on his side, and the way Odoo connects to Postgre won't help you understand how Crystal connects. But I'm not sure of how Crystal works. So there, I'm not sure I can demo it for you. Never use Crystal Report. I don't know how it connects. The only thing I can tell you is that Odoo, the ORM of Odoo, or Odoo itself, is going to connect to PostgreSQL thanks to the parameter I gave you. And somewhere in the Python files, we explain, okay, what it means to connect and what are the kind of queries that we send. And if you want to debug those queries, there's a debug mode of Odoo. Odoo debug mode. But not the debug mode. Debug SQL, I should say. Yeah, you have log SQL, and that you can use that. I think maybe I should go in the documentation instead. Yeah, maybe there are a few answers for like these ones on how, yes, log level debug SQL. So that's when you start Odoo, you will see what we create and which table we target. But I'm not sure it's going to help for Crystal, honestly. Best thing is to have a look at Crystal and check how it can, how it needs to be installed and what kind of information it attacks. Let me check one thing. Yeah, so that's the thing. It looks like, and here I'm on the PostgreSQL community thing in terms of their wiki, and it looks like it's attacking directly the database. So knowing what Odoo does, I don't think there's a lot of sense in knowing that. Yes, I would be curious because it's not an area that I know well, but I think it's good, well, not related to Odoo. Another question on LinkedIn from Sarfaraz. Hi, we are using Odoo 16. I just joined company, so many red and V in GL as well. Okay, I'm not sure about the words that you use here. So many red and -VE in the general ledger as well as reporting. I insist Odoo must integrate with AI, must prompt user for passing wrong entry, rest okay recording of sales and purchase, but I need to know what ID most reliable way to book income. Okay, it's complicated because I think it's not super easy to see what you want to accomplish here. You mentioned integration with AI, but I don't think that integration with AI is an answer that you can give all the time for something that you want to accomplish in Odoo. It seems like you want to know, or at least that you would like to be sure that people don't pass wrong information to the accounting. One way of doing that, and integrating with AI, I'm not sure it will be the ultimate solution, would be to check at least that the right people are creating the right entries and that they have the access right to do it. So usually if you have lots of errors, I would say, but also train the people that are using it so that they don't create wrong entries. The accounting, when you are an accountant, is, I would say, quite easy in terms of generating entries, because at worst, and so if you don't have accounting entries generated from sales or purchase, that you need to create your journal entries yourself manually, usually you are going to respect accounting principles, and the person that is doing that should be an accountant, certified eventually, and having some AI, it depends what you want them to the AI to accomplish, but I'm not sure it will be the ultimate solution here. Ultimate and most reliable way that you said to book income is usually if you start from the sale order. You could be starting from there, but at some point anyway the sale order is going to generate an invoice, and usually that's the right way to book some income, because you will have the income account that are selected from your product. So let me select here maybe some product that we had here. It's in Belgium, so that's why the account code is this one. But because the product configuration is well done, the account for my revenue is this one, and it is working according to the product, according also to the fiscal position that I'm using, eventually the clients, so that not the clients, I think that it's more like a product and fiscal position related. And then you see the journal items that will be generated. So here it's not yet confirmed, but it's already showing you what is going to be the impact on your accounting. And that's usually something that you test at the beginning based on the product configuration and the rest of the accounting configuration you have. And if you are happy with the configuration, every time that you are going to receive invoice for that kind of client or that kind of product, it will always be the same kind of entries that will impact your reporting in terms of profit and loss. And as you mentioned, the income, well, that is an income account in Odoo. If I have a look at this, I see even the type is income. So starting from there, you can have some mistakes. People create their own chart of account and they don't know what they are doing. They create wrong income accounts. they have a wrong code or they don't select the right amount. But usually, if you configure this well and Odoo comes already with a lot of pre-configuration, you are going the right way. Another question on LinkedIn from Kayo. Why table row or column cell can't merge in the HTML wizard field? I'm not sure of what you try to accomplish here. Why table or row command? What do you mean about the HTML wizard field? I don't see what you want to do. So because I'm checking with my knowledge if there's a place where what you say would make not make sense, but where I would see in Odoo where you are going to merge row and columns in something that would be an HTML wizard. And I'm not sure, are we talking about Odoo or are you talking about something in a wizard on PostgreSQL, on pgadmin or something like this? Because that would be different. You don't merge things here in terms of row in Odoo, nor you merge things in terms of columns. So, Kayo, can I ask you to give me an example of what you would like to accomplish inside Odoo so that I see better how to answer your question. It was on LinkedIn. YouTube, Khaled is asking, how can I trace user activities and log? Different ways. Different ways. I'm thinking of what is the best way to start in the settings. You have a lot of things that are the messages. The messages are all the messages you will find in the chatter. Somebody that is doing something, he will generate new records and he will create new things, and that will be all put in the chatter with a timestamp that you have here. So you see, today, working with you guys, what I did is, okay. We started, yes, that is where we are here, and you see, I saw a lot of things there, and you and at the same time we talk. I have Arthur that is trying to help me with the previous question. I will have a look just after. But you can talk. You can use a mic. Okay, that is just the. I should use. You did directly on ChatGPT because I could use Odoo as well, or that the new support chat, the new support AI. I'll check that after. But continuing on Khaled's question on how to trace activities and log, that's one way. You see the date, you see who here, the author, did what and on which document. That's one way of seeing things, because lots of documents on which you are going to work, there are documents for which there is a chatter, and if there's a chatter, you create new messages, or you document, or you talk on those things. If I were to go in our own Odoo environment, so the one that we use for our own production, you will see lots of my messages on tickets, talk with colleagues, things like that. That is okay, this one, because at least that's information that is contained in the chatter. And if it's contained in the chatter, we can consider it as public. There's another thing, is that the discuss activity can also be seen, but not by everyone, maybe by an admin. You would be able to see also the messages there. Another thing that you can check, but is not totally accurate, because it relies on the goodwill of your guys. It is having a look at also the activities. So the activities that are here, what they're supposed to do today. You see, I have a lot of things for which I'm late. That's why it's showing red. And also once they are done, so you see here miscellaneous operations tax report. I'm going to say done, so that you see its impact also, because once it's done in terms of activities, it goes in the messages. And you would see it here. I don't know if it will be at the date of today or if it would be. Is it here? Yeah, tax report done. That is it. So that's the last one I did just now. So this one is what I created because I validated an activity. That is just smart use of the chatter and the activities. If you need to go further than this, and you need to have logs that are a bit more complex, two other solutions. Either you are interested about one thing in particular, and in that case, I would say, and it works also on the SaaS, do the following. You can go in the automated automation rules, and we can say log something. And I did that in the past for a few clients, or even here. You have the IR login table, and no, not this, sorry. That's what we are going to use and that's what we are going to create, but maybe we want to say, I would like to check who is deleting sale orders, okay? And I'm going to say trigger is deletion. And whatever the sale order, I want to have a look at that. And I'm going to say, you know what, you are going to create something, and here I'm going to use the log thing. And you see log message level info. I'm going to reuse that over there, and I'm saying log, and the message I'm going to log is user.name deleted sale order. And I can even maybe say record.name so that we have the name of the sale order. Let's try this one. You see there's already an error. Username plus yes. There's a little plus missing here. And that's maybe not the best way to display it, but let's try. Okay, at least it seems like it's working. I will go in the logging place where you see that I already have right here a few things I outputted in the past, but we have only 2 that were dating back from January. Then let's go in my sale order, and I can create a new SO that I will delete directly right here. The notion of deletion is really what we have here. Delete. No error, so it makes me believe that it worked well, this automation. Let's go into the logging thing, and let's see if just going back, yes, I see now I have this one that was generated, and we see Antoine Huvel, so me, deleted the SO, and it's giving me the SO number so that you can follow who did what. That's a possibility. It's kind of nasty because people don't even know that they've been tracked, but maybe that's the goal that you are trying to pursue here. So this is only admin that will be able to do that, and you will find it where logging is here. You've seen me, I'm always using the shortcut, so logging, that's why it's bringing me there. That's where we have the information. If you need more than just those specific places where you want to log, and what we can log is the trigger, so the deletion, new value being set, whatever you want here. You have another thing that you can do, which is in the apps we have the audit trail or audit logs. That is the one I think that people use. Yeah, you see lots of downloads. So where you can say, and it's been covered for lots of different versions, it is going to tell you, okay, we can track, yes, here you see on which model the type of activities, like do we log the reads, the writes, the deletes, the creates. I know it works, but I think it's mostly overkill because it's not going to give you the information that you want. You will be overflown with information, and you are going to make your database slower because every time that you do this, you log things, so you create new records for saying that somebody did something. So you are going to have a database that is going to grow. It's not so much about the database size, but it's also about the effort that it will require Odoo to say that every time that some people do something on that kind of records, and usually you will be very, very generous and you are going to log everything, you are going to create logs that are so big that you don't realize how much you generate and how much you slow down Odoo. So that's why I will be very, very careful with that. It's doing what you want, but I'm sure that people abuse this for almost no value. But that is possible. Okay, checking with the question that you had before, thanks to Arthur. So it is the wizard field, certain HTML features with wizard field to maintain layout consistency. The table, TD, TR. I think I know now what you mean. Okay, based on this, I'm not sure that that's it. I understand the question the following way. I don't remember who was asking for this. Kyo. Yes, that's maybe what. Let me find a place where we have this here. I wonder if it's not that. It's that notion of having 2 columns here, or sometimes 2 rows, and that you cannot. But then it's not a wizard notion. It's the fact that you cannot merge them, or if you create a new object, a new model, that you don't have that possibility unless you go inside the code. I don't know if that's exactly what you want, but if that is it, please don't hesitate to tell us. That is also a possibility in the way to interpret your question. Another question from Atef Saud in Odoo 18, how to add a customized icon to a newly created activity in the mail activity type model. Yes, I see. Good question. I see. What you want to accomplish is the following. You have the activity types, and then you have the icons here that are the icons from Font Awesome. So that's why they start with FA. So we can go on FA icons. You will find on Font Awesome all the icons that you want, and that's why if I go here, activity types, we have FA phone. FA phone. Wait, am I on the right website? Yeah, Font Awesome. So icons. Maybe they don't want FA to start with. Okay, that's why. Yeah, that's the one I guess that we are going to use. Yes, you see FA phone. That's the one that we use. Okay, it's weird that looking for FA phone doesn't work, but that just phone works. But those are the icons that you can use. Let me try another one. It depends of what is the set that we open, because maybe we don't have them all, but I see already pencil square. That is already quite specific, or at least maybe pencil. Do we have yes, pencil square, pen to square? No. Okay, I will make that bigger again because otherwise, do we have something like square? It's maybe we maybe use a former version. Huh? I will try something. I will look for it. Pencil square. Yeah, that's maybe the one. And that it just the name changed because you have also different versions of FA. But I suppose that this you can find it somewhere, and that somewhere is a place where we are going to find all these icons. But I don't know if they act as a list of icons, and would it be then in the web add-ons? Yes, we use Font Awesome lib, so that must be where we go up. That is it. Yes, I suppose. Okay, we have CSS, and there's no. Okay, the font. Okay, and I guess that's what you can find are the fonts that we use here. So I don't know if it's a full set, but I suppose I can try this one, like superscript. What is it? Let's see. Okay, let's see if that can be used. We'll see if that works. I'm not even sure that it supports all the icons. So was it FA superscript? FA superscript. Yeah. Let's try that. Okay. Let's go and create a new activity or a new lead. And there. Rather go in my pipeline and create. Do we have already here the button for the activities? Nope. I will create it here. Activities superscript. Let's try. Yes, you see the icon is there, so it is working. But if you need your own, you will have to add new things here, or to tell Odoo where to look for that Font Awesome CSS, and that is also because I guess we are going to load this from some place. We load it. Is it from here? Yeah, okay. Pause box, okay. Jolly driver, web editor, web. It's maybe there. Well, first you need to tell Odoo that it will be one of the assets that you want. And then there must be another place where we say in the activities, and that would be maybe in the mail place, because that's where we use that notion of activities. Do we have another place where we use that? No, in fact, I'm thinking about that. That's maybe where my knowledge stops, but it's CSS like any CSS. So as long as you load it, and that let me think this again. I'm saying as long as you load it, and that you use the right class, that would work, because there it's telling you, okay, it's just, again, quote here, in fact, they use this as a font, so it's a huge font with all the icons, and then they say how to use them with a few. Let me check. Let's go back. Yeah, and then they find the content based on some information here that I suppose is given by Font Awesome. So you can, if you don't want to use Font Awesome because you don't find the icon you want, you could potentially find your own way by using another font that contains those kind of icons, or use CSS, load the CSS, and ask Odoo to display that icon. But that is a lot of work if you don't use Font Awesome, because as you can see, it's over there in small. That's maybe some of the places that we are going to use. So potentially a lot of work. So I would say stick to Font Awesome and try to find the font / the icon of Font Awesome that is best for you. Bruno is asking us, can I have a report with plan, subplan, analytic accounts on the X and result and Y axis? You could, but I think that the best you could do, because those kind of things change. Yeah, I think that if you do it with a report, you are going to miss the idea of having some flexibility, because the PDF is going to be very, very strict. You code it for once, and then if you want to add another axis, or if you want to change thing, it's going to take you quite some time. I would rather recommend to have a look at what we already offer in terms of accounting, because in the reporting for your accounting, you already have a lot of things you can do. And in the budget report, when you have several axes, you are going to see them here, or different plans, I should say. So here, it's not in the budget, sorry, it's analytic reporting. Analytic report. There you're going to see, depending on the first axe that we have is the project, but you could have the project and then a second axe here that would be something different. Project is a plan. I think we can check that. So if I go back here in accounting, if it's not a plan, it's one that we have by default. Analytical plan, yes. Yeah, we have project. And if I create a new one and I say what we could have, department, and I want to use that, and I say, okay, it's going to be used on purchase orders, and it's optional. I could do this. So I'm creating a new plan, but that would be acting as a new axe. Refreshing this one now, I should have it again. Yes, okay, and then now we have project here. And department over there. Of course, I don't have any value in my department, so it makes no sense, but what I wanted to show is that we have those two. And that's maybe something that is going to be anyway better than what you can accomplish with PDF, because otherwise, if you want to have those several axes, you need to explain how you want it in PDFs, and that is going to be a lot of creating tables with lines, with for each loops every time, depending on the first plan and then the second plan and maybe the third plan, and that is going to be a bit more complicated. It is possible, but it's true that we don't have that, as you don't have on the analytic items. I don't think that you have something like yeah, you have the timesheets. Yeah, that's because those are timesheets as well, but you don't have a nice report that is going to come out of this. But the one that you will find in the analytic reporting. And then better to insert it in spreadsheet. Twitch question about, hello, on the GAN view in appointment page, how can I make columns at a defined width in order to see the name in the cell immediately. I think that would mean a bit of development. So it is appointment, but it could be anywhere. Appointment, I'm saying it every time. Let's go on demo. At least we have a few appointments that already exist. So it is the columns. Let's see. That would be more like a development question, I think. Let's go there. Not edit. I can go in the schedule. I think that what you want to see is this. Is a Kanban view by default, and here those are days. But I guess that what you would like to have is something that is a bit bigger. Let me check if we have another schedule for the staff. Yeah, it's just the days, but that's maybe why you would like to have the columns being bigger depending on the name that we have here, and that would be automatically development. Because let me check. Yeah, the columns that we have are those ones, so it's the days. If you need to make that bigger, here that thing is the Gantt header cell that you have here with the title inside. The whole division is here, Gantt header cell, and that. I don't know if we have a fixed. It's enterprise version, I guess. It's maybe just something that is a compound of several things. No, yeah. Do we have a width for that? Let me check it again. Another thing. It was here. How do we compute the width of this one? Yeah, it's not taken from any other place. So you see, it's not taken from some CSS. So maybe it's post-computed. In which case, would be a bit of JavaScript. Yes. That's maybe what we do. It would make sense. I don't know if that's somewhere here that we are going. Yeah, we changed the it looked like we play with the width, but it's in the test, so that I don't care so much. Test again. It's only testing those files. That's maybe because I'm wrong and it should be JavaScript. But it's along those lines. I think it's going to be complicated to find the right way to change the width. Okay. Yeah, development for sure. Or well, I consider extra CSS or SCSS as development, but that we would need to wait for Emanuele to come back here so that he can show you how he would do that. I see another part which is more. I would like to see the current day, period of current time. But current day and period of current time. So I'm not sure of what you want to accomplish. So to complete the question, because some people are maybe not on Twitch, and so I need to tell them the rest of the ID. It was about the columns, and then I will more information to see the name in the cell immediately. I would like to see the current day and the period of current time, 5 or 6 hours, for example. That is, if you want to also change one day in periods that are maybe not just hours. Let me check that. Yes, okay. You would like to see more information than just the slot number. That looks like your demand. Yeah, because here, yeah, we just have the hour. Yeah, same answer. That wouldn't be doable without a bit of development. Switching to the next question, as we have only 15 minutes remaining. Buprofanity is asking us, good morning, what would you recommend to analyze Odoo webshop performance? What tooling and how to identify bottlenecks? I have no idea. So, well, I'm saying this, it's not totally true. Usually, if we were to have that on Odoo SH, for example, we would use the following. On Odoo SH, you know that you have a place where you can click on monitor. And if you are not on Odoo SH, you can do the same, because that kind of notion of profiling it exists also as a thing that you can add on your side. There's also, I think, we have it directly inside the database. I'm going to show that just after. On Odoo SH, maybe a quick one here. It's not a real environment, so you see what we are going to have here will be fake, or at least not a real case where we have lots of people using it. But typically, when there's an issue on the amount of requests or on the amount of memory that is being used, you are going to have some indicators like a red line that will show at which moment the machine was suffering. Let's say in terms of amount of requests that you have, too many people trying to connect and perform things at the same time, or in amount of CPU or memory. So that's the first thing that you would see, but it would only give you the time when it happens. So it's a first indicator, but it's not super helpful. In order to find what is going wrong, usually you are going to go in the code and see which are the queries that take a long time. Maybe because of Python or maybe because of SQL. Usually you need that to analyze and see where you are going to rework some things. And that you click on Start Profiler, and during 5 minutes, Odoo is going to check with some milliseconds which are the processes in Python that are still active, so that you can see let's say which is the method in Odoo in your ORM or in the development that you made that is taking a lot of time, because usually that's the issue. It's one method that is taking too long to execute, or a series of methods, and we try to reduce the method that is called the most. If not called the most, it's not exactly that, because you can have a method that is very, very quick and that is called a lot, and that it doesn't matter too much, but it's more like the thing that takes the most time. We try to reduce it to reduce the global time of performing a flow of action. We are going to use the profiler for this, and that tool, I could show it here, but if I don't do anything on the staging environment, it's not going to work. And I think that anyway, it exists also. I think that it exists if you're a super user in Odoo. I don't know if that is still the case now. I'm thinking about that. We had that in the past, but I'm not sure how to start this one. I have a doubt right now. It bothers me. I don't know if I'm getting old and forgetting things. But it should be somewhere here that we had this in the past. The idea of creating to go in super user. I just want to check quickly if it's me bugging, and it was available before, or if it's just that I don't have it on the SAS. So I'm connecting to an older environment in v16 so that I can check this. Okay, close. I'm going to make that bigger. All right, dark mode support. Yeah, I don't remember how we used to do that to start the super user mode. You know what? I think that I'm so in doubt that I could be using. Let's do something. I'm going to try this one because I never do. I will put it in English so that you can see it as well. Do we have something? Will it find an answer for me? Setting apps, developer tools, activate developer mode, debug one, debug, yeah, super user, activated, debug menu, yes. Oh yeah, I'm just stupid. Yes, you are going to say yes behind your screen, I know it, and you're right, it's just like I forgot it was here, and it has become super user. Okay, and that's what I wanted to accomplish, and I don't know why I was so focused on the user instead of this thing. So let me check why I was looking there. Yes, analyze the performance. I think that's you need to do that in order to start the profiling. I'm not even sure now because I did this and I don't see the debug icon anymore. I can restart it here. Yes, you have enabled profiling. I'm not sure I could have this without. Let's check. Ah no, you had it even before super user, so that was not necessary. But at least I remembered something. And here you have that profiling, and you say 5 minutes of profiling. I enable it, and then I'm going to do a few things like creating some new thing here. Okay, oops, blah blah blah. I'm saving this. You need to perform a few things that are going to not be only JavaScript information, but creating a few records, I don't know, planning some manufacturing, try to do some heavier stuff, go in the e-commerce, perform some sales. Based on that, if I go here, let's add to the cart. Okay, you can kind of simulate a few things, and then going back, I think that you can. It did it, but it's not telling me here when it will be okay. But I can see the sessions that are there. Maybe I didn't enable it and I didn't pay attention, or I have to wait 5 minutes. Let me check that because yes, it was not working. Yeah, it looks like it is now. Good. I redo it. Oops. All right, let's confirm this one. Let's go in the web shop again, do something on the shop. I'm going to have to stop my reasoning at some point, because although I'm going to be able to generate that, I'm going to not be able to interpret it. So that is, if I go there, yeah, it's creating things here, and you see the duration of each actions. And usually, do we have this? Yeah, it's going to give you that kind of graph where we can see what is the action that is taking a lot of time. And so thanks to this, you see, okay, in terms of duration, in everything that I accomplished, what was the longest one? And you see here a few things that took more than 1 second. I guess those are seconds. Let me check what is here. Yes, entry count. Okay, and then you see what was the URL of the thing that we asked. And apparently, just showing the T-shirt here it took that amount of time. This one was loading the backend. So you have a few things like those ones that are going to help you analyze what was slow. And I suppose that a good developer would take a bit of time still, but will be able to read this and see what are the things going wrong, so that you can improve this or that method. Of course, in order to be able to do that, you need to know already which are the methods inside Odoo, why one would be behaving a bit slower, maybe evacuate also false positives, because they know that sometimes you are going to find a name and that name, while it takes a long time, it's not exactly where you need to look for. So those are the kind of things that they are going to accomplish if something is behaving slowly. It's just one of the tools that we have, but interpretation or then how to improve your code so that you don't have the same issue later, that is a different story. That is purely standard. As you can see, it is available already on the SaaS environment and on the Runbot as well, same as on Odoo SH. And if it's on the SaaS, I'm pretty sure that it is part also of the of what you need to install in on premise, and that this would be there as well. Okay, another question from Jabran. I'm upgrading from 17 to 18 on Odoo SH. I've already upgraded my custom module in an empty database and restored my upgraded database in a new staging environment for testing. However, the documentation isn't clear on the next steps. What is the correct way to upload and update the custom module that I've already updated in an empty database? So, way to upload and update the custom module that I've already updated in an empty database. Okay. So what you did is that you've been here. Here I'm on the version 18, so of course I cannot upgrade, but you've been through the upgrade. Now you are in a version 18 here, and you would like to have on this place the modules that you need for the version 18. One way of doing, I'm not sure if it's the best one, but what you can do is make merging what you have in the development branch, for which you have the modules that you know that are working fine, and move it, merge it on the staging, or create another environment here and do the upgrade on that environment, and that code that would be already in version 18. That should be, I suppose, the way to go, because at the moment where you start and what you did here, if you remember well, when you start the upgrade process with Odoo SH, Odoo takes the last backup, so it's going to take the last automated backup that we had. So it's this one and no other one. It's important to remember. We take this one, we send it to the upgrade server, we upgrade the database, and we send it back to you, and then we wait for a commit. And that is usually the commit where you are going to put the changes that you had that you have made, because obviously if you have some development, at least you need to change the manifest, so you will have to make some changes in terms of code, and that is the commit for which before that commit you were in version 17, and now on that new thanks to that new commit you will be in version 18 with the new changes that you brought to your module. So that is how you could do that, and it could be done under the form of a pull request that you made in GitHub prior to upgrading. That would be possible as long as there is a commit at the very end of that process. Odoo is going to then restart Odoo 18 with your new environment, with that new code. Jamran, that's the kind of thing that we do with our partners and clients. So if you want to cover that, it's possible that we do it together with your real environment and the environment of our client. That is really the kind of thing that we assist you with if you have a doubt, because I understand that migration is a moment where you are a bit afraid of what could go wrong, but that's something that we can help with. Another question on Twitch from Mariam. Hi Antoine, I have a question. I'm trying to set up an automation rule that sends an email when a delivery transaction gets to ready state for a specific product, and another email when the state is done for other products. Is there a way I can make this work for different products? My case depends on the delivery method my client chooses when placing an order online. Mariam, I would need some extra information, because I guess that from what you said, it needs to be it's the same delivery order. So just want to be sure that the case that you would have is, and I'm trying to quickly replicate what I understood here in the inventory. So you would have something like this, that I received a delivery, and you have a delivery for one client, let's say that guy, and we have a FIFO product here, for example, and another product. And because you have this and that, you would like to send two different emails because those are different products. And if it's not valid, I don't have them, but if I validate this and I deliver one and then I deliver the other, you would like that you send two emails. Send an email when a delivery transaction gets to the ready state for a specific product, and when it's done. Okay, so I read that wrong. I suppose that it is not stock move based, but for the whole picking. So when it is ready and when it will be done. Yes, and depends on the delivery method. But then, what about doing the following? If it's just purely picking related and not stock movement related and based on the state, what about doing the following? Let me check again in the automation rules. You create a new one that would be, I will take the use case of the stock picking because it's the easiest one. Send email when state of stock picking changes. It will be on the stock picking. And you say, then when it moves from, and I'm going to work with the state here, when it moves from draft or waiting to, it moves to ready, then send email, and you select the email that you want. That would be first one. Yes, and that is, I don't like it because I forgot the trigger. Now I'm going to have to redo it. Yeah, so you see, changing a trigger, I need to change my domains. So, but let's redo it. I just had to do that directly. I know it and I forgot it. Is in, so we said draft and we said waiting. Okay. Domain. Ready. So that would be for the ready one. You send an email and then you kind of duplicate this one, but you change. This time it will be from ready to done, and you would send another email. And you see it's on save, but it's a particular save. It's saving from ready to done. So that is when you are going to send the email. That is the use case that I understand the most. Well, not simple one, but that from what you said, that's what I understood. And of course, you can use different email template. That is totally okay. And if you want to do it per, and I understood this maybe differently at first, if it's not per picking, but it's per stock move, you can do it per stock move. But then the issue, and we can do that when I have two then with the stock picking. Let me check. And I said pricing and not picking, so I can already change that. So if it's not on the stock picking that you want to do it, you could do it on a stock move, and also work on the state when you save on the state on the stock move, because it is pretty similar. Status is in, and then you have the same. So if it's let's say available to done, that would work as well. But the issue is that then you don't have any, I think, you don't have any email template, because the template is based on the picking. So you need to recreate an email template that would show the same thing, but that you would prefix differently the variables, because then from the stock move you need to go to the picking to show the information that you want. So it's a bit longer to do this. I understood it as first as what you had here in terms of picking, but if it's on the stock move, that would be different. All right, that's it for today. We can move on and have another discussion next week. At the moment, what is planned is that we are going to have Winon that is going to help us understand the e-invoicing. So it would be a discussion that is not only about accounting in Europe, it would be generic accounting questions. E-invoicing is a very particular topic right now, and I'm saying this for the other people that are not part of Europe, but in Europe we are trying to have a system where all those invoices are done that way with the invoicing. It becomes a legal requirement, so that's why it's a big topic at the moment. And I'm pretty sure that the question that you will have will be a bit wider than what we have in terms of than just the e-invoicing. So if you have questions about the accounting, everything that is related to invoicing, payments, ask them there. It will be really more centered around that topic, not only e-invoicing, but everything that is around accounting. You know, Winand, I guess, is very famous, I would say, in the community, brings a lot of people in the Odoo experience, so don't hesitate. We'll be together with him answering most of the questions that you have on the accounting. Until then, have a good day or evening, I don't know where you are, and see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.